There are 3 Pokemon here, back from my days as a trainer. In my old age, I only have 3 remaining, but you can choose one. There's a Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Wait, what's this? There's a 4th Pokeball here. Let me see what this is. Oh my Arceus, it's patreon.com at Wassescast Productions, and if you help it level up, it'll provide you with strong attacks like bonus content, early access episodes, and even all new podcast premieres. Patreon.com/Wassescast Productions may be difficult to train, but with it, you can truly become a podcast master. Enjoy the show.
We want to be the very best, like no one ever was. To watch them is our real test, to review them is our cause. Welcome to the After Credits Cast, the only film podcast to have traveled far and wide to unleash the power that's inside. Don't worry, we'll have plenty of these jokes when the anime movies come around. I'm your host, Aaron Wishcash, and with me today, I have Raidon Matang.
Oh, God.
And our special guest this week is Espion Case-kun.
Wow.
I forgot what noise Matang makes. I'm sorry.
It's fine. That one's a hard one. It's a big rock, basically. So yeah, this week's Pokemon, if you hadn't caught on to that already. It's kind of ironic, too. This is actually the same... We're recording this the week that... Actually, the day that the CGI Mewtwo Strikes Back releases on Netflix, actually.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
I need to watch that.
My phone's been blown up with headlines saying, it's on Netflix now! And I'm like, oh, well, wish we had, thought of that before, but oh well. This is a good movie still.
Must watch.
And if you enjoyed this weird starting intro and want to see more of our stuff, listen to the rest of the show. And if you like that, go to, Patreon, YouTube, Peepa, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Podcast Addict. Or a lot of other platforms, too. Just Google us, and you'll probably find us. We're somewhere out there. It's cool. So we usually jump straight into the show. So let's go straight into that. With this week's episode, are you guys ready for that?
Sure.
All right.
Yes, of course.
Welcome back to the game. Let's press start and jump into 2018's Detective Pikachu. Directed by Rob Letterman and written by Dan Hernandez, Benji Samit, and Rob Letterman and Derek Connolly. A lot of names there. This film grossed a total of $431,705,000 worldwide, which is just under three times what it cost.
Yeah, that's a pretty good return.
Not bad. There's a lot of people who, when they were first talking about this coming out, people were saying, oh, this is going to blow up and be bigger than anything else. And I'm like, I want it to... Well, no, the audience for Pokemon is pretty big. And it
is. It is.
I can understand where they're coming from, but I'm like, for the first outing, I don't think so. Build up to that, and maybe you'll get Marvel numbers at that point. Maybe.
Yeah.
The cast includes a good number of names, including Rita Ora, Josette Simon, Suki Waterhouse, Chris Gere, Ken Watanabe, is it Bill Nighy? I don't know what...
Nye.
Is it
Nye.
Bill Nye.
I was saying, that's not how you spell Bill Nye the Science Guy.
It's not Bill Nye the Science Guy. Damn it.
That's why I'm like, no, that can't be right.
I think it's Nye.
I think it's Nye.
Okay, we'll do that, because we're not gonna tarnish the true Bill Nye. That's uncalled for.
No.
Catherine Newton, Justice Smith, and the Merc with the Mouse, Ryan Reynolds.
Jesus Christ.
No awards for this movie as of yet. I don't think it's going to get any post-release at this point. So let's baton pass over to Ryan for some fun facts.
All right, baton in hand, we have 4 fun facts before we move on. First of which, Tim mentions a gangster film on TV that is an old detective movie. The clip being shown is actually Angels with Filthy Souls, a movie within a movie which was featured in the original Home Alone in 1990. I absolutely caught that.
I did
and
too.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, filthy animal.
All right, next up, it was the Pokemon Company's idea to have Rhyme City ban battling and using Pokeballs, wishing to show a different, more elevated relationship between Pokemon and people. They were also very protective of Ash Ketchum and forbade any reference to him being made, going so far as to even forbidding Tim from wearing a cap, which they circumvented by having the reporter wear a cap, but that's neither here nor there.
You know, it's all a conspiracy, right? Ash Ketchum's actually a vampire. They can't show him anything else because of the controversy there.
Technically, he's 475 years old. Anyway, going on, the realistic style of the Pokemon were based on the artwork by R.J. Palmer. This movie's production designer discovered him while he was looking for realistic Pokemon designs on the internet, and he was so impressed by Palmer's artwork that he gave him a job as the concept artist for the movie.
Oh,
Talk about
really
going from
cool.
Tumblr to the damn studio.
I bet I've seen his art too, floating around like BuzzFeed articles.
Oh yeah, it's
probably.
gone everywhere. If you haven't seen it, I'd be impressed.
And of course, last but not least, this is the first movie based on a video game to have a fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes at 67%.
Nice.
What? Are you telling me Final Fantasy isn't gonna get a top score, Ryan?
Was Final Fantasy even... no, you know what? You're not dragging me back down into that nonsense. I'm not doing this again.
That was a great bunch of bullshit last time. It was great. So before we jump into a synopsis here, let's get some initial thoughts out. Just a kind of a quick bite as to what we all thought going into it. Aaron, let's start with you. What did you think going into this one?
So this was the first Pokemon movie that I'd seen in theaters. So, I thought it was going to be a lot funnier than it was. Like, there was a lot of humor in it, but the movie actually felt really long to me, which is odd. But I enjoyed it overall, but it felt like it dragged on a little bit for me.
That's
then again,
I think that middle act does go a little bit.
While I know a lot of like the Pokemon and the references and everything, because I didn't like grow up really watching Pokemon and everything, I guess so I probably missed out on some of like the Easter eggs that were in there. But I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. I'd like to see it again. Especially Ryan Reynolds just does a good job in it.
Mm-hmm. I'll go real quick. I think it was fine, and it was a neat seeing a Pokemon brought to life for the first time.
Yeah.
My first theater experience was actually Mewtwo Strikes Back. I was like 10, 11 or something when it came out, and my mom hated me for it because, well, okay, not hated, but she was very unhappy going with me because she had to stand in line with a bunch of other fucking little kids, and in hindsight, I can see why that wouldn't be fun, but as a kid, I was just like, hey, I got my collectible card, hey, I get to see this movie, hey, this is okay, it's fine, it's great, and then years later, I'm like, oh, that wasn't great, it was just, eh. But, as for this movie, though, I hope it's not the last time we see Pokemon brought to life. I actually really hope they can do more with it. It'd be kind of a shame to put that money and CGI budget into this and then not reuse some of those animations elsewhere.
Agreed.
Yeah. Alright, well, real quick, I enjoyed it. I watched it with Allegra over like the Skype date, which was really cool.
Aww.
And we were both very impressed with the detail of the Pokemon CGI, and I thought the Pokemon were done very, very well. I think the story was pretty good. It was interesting enough to keep me engaged in it, although it felt a little, predictable, just a little bit. And you're right, I could definitely feel it drag on just a little long. Although I could not have predicted the fact that Mewtwo is God now, so there is that.
Isn't Mewtwo always God?
I mean, well, no, Arceus first, then Mew, then Mewtwo kind of abdicates both of them.
Yeah, so I like I felt the movie was predictable up until people started becoming Pokemon, and then I was just like, this went entirely not where I thought it was going to go. But,
Oh, yeah.
all right, let's roll with it.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Oh, you're going to love the synopsis when I get to that point.
Okay, I just have to ask in regards to that real quick. Did either of you think, which Pokemon would I be if I got hit with that?
I mean, the answer is obvious for me. I'd be Hawlucha, because I just fucking love that little luchador bird. He's so cool.
Hawlucha is amazing.
Who would I be? I don't know. I haven't been into Pokemon in so long that I have no idea. What do you guys think I would be?
Huh.
Honchkrow.
Ryan would be a fighting. No. Ryan would be a fighting type Pokemon because he's got into shape. He you do like a kickboxing kind of thing, right?
I used to. I did that for like a couple of months.
Okay. So, what's your typical workout routine?
It's mostly weightlifting at this point. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think?
Oh my god, am I a champ?
I was gonna say, I don't know if you'd go full Machamp. I don't think the forms would suit you. Machoke would probably be good.
Machoke. Yeah, that would be good.
I'm actually gonna take back Hawlucha. I'm gonna go Roserade. I want to be a Tuxedo Mask, but Pokemon.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. Now, in my soul, I want to say I'd either be like a Vulpix or an Eevee, just because those are pretty much my favorite Pokemon. But default-wise, I probably should be a bird, but I am not a Pidgey. You will not call me a Pidgey, I will kick you.
I mean, you could be Hawlucha if you want to.
I love Hawlucha. I'd be Hawlucha.
Hawlucha's gonna wrestle you.
Yes. I would probably be the from the episodes, the wounded Hawlucha who can't do quite as much.
I have to ask, are you actually watching a lot of the anime?
I watch some of the shows from time to time. When I think it was on, they had the first couple seasons on Netflix, and I started watching those, and then I was watching XYZ or whatever.
I was gonna say, I think they started doing newer seasons and stopped putting up the old ones for whatever reason, so.
Yeah, I go to the Watch Anime Online or whatever it's called for the other seasons, but I'll sometimes watch them. So I think it was Pokemon XYZ.
Yep.
I watched a lot of that, so I got to meet Hawlucha and found him a very fun character.
Oh, yeah. Ryan, you're missing out. Hawlucha's great. Anyway, I got a synopsis for everybody. Are you guys ready to hear this fucking nightmare of a shit show?
Oh boy!
Oh my god! Yes, bring it.
It's the world of Pokemon, but instead of seeing trainers fight to the death in glorious battle that only is a step up of usual dogfighting, we see Tim Goodman, a son of a skilled detective, going through his father's belongings after a presumed death on the job. Failing to find a will that will get him the millions of dollars of stock in the Pokemon Company, he instead finds a talking Pikachu. Or at least it talks to him. Maybe he got a head injury. We're not really sure. The Pikachu, we're just going to call him Pikapool. You know why. Is on the case to find what happened to his partner, Tim's dad. Tim doesn't give a fuck until Pokemon start going crazy and attacking him due to a vial of fart gas. Tim and Pikapool track down the clues to a fight club we're not allowed to talk about, where some dude is just fucking drowning his Charizard in some fart gas. Somehow they survive this, and they are called in by a rich paraplegic who somehow has clues to what happened to his father. They are shown holograms, which Tim doesn't fully grasp what a hologram is. We are then given red herrings to believe the culprit is the rich old man's son, when it is really the rich old man. Dun dun dun. Wanting to get the Mewtwo for himself, he mind fuses with the Mewtwo and starts forcing humans to merge with their Pokemon. Rather than making some cool but horrible Cronenberg monsters, it just traps people in Pokemon partners' bodies. Think of the possibilities lost here. To stop Scrooge McMewtwo, nightmare-fueled Cronin world, Pikapool and Tim do a battle. Pikapool fights McMewtwo in the banned Pokefloat stage, while Tim wrestles with the Pokemon equivalent of a changeling. I think it's called Face Off. Something like that. They win and stop the evil plans. Mewtwo, unfused, then gives the answer to the film's core mystery. Where's Mr. Tim's dad? It turns out Detective Pikachu was actually a Cronenberg himself, merged with Tim's dad, Dadpool. They demerge, and Tim chooses to stay in Rhyme City to live with his dad and the various side characters and friends they met along the way.
Dadpool.
Son of a bitch. Scrooge McMewtwo. I almost left the podcast right then.
I love that.
I had a lot of fun with this one. This is a good episode to write.
Oh my god.
Alright, so I start with the video game series we've been doing. I start every discussion question with this one. What is your history with the game it's based on, the franchise in general? I know not all of us have probably played Detective Pikachu. That was kind of a one-off, more puzzly detective game. But in general, what have you guys done in the Pokemon series? I'll start with Ryan because I think he's probably got the shortest history.
Yeah, actually, you're 100% right. I got into it when it first came out, and I was in grade school. I had Pokemon Blue for life, and I kind of fell out of it a little bit. Mostly getting back into it because the people around me were getting into it again. So even when I would get older, as like more of my friends were like, "Oh my God, the new Pokemon game's coming out," I would have to get one just to kind of like be in the mix with everybody, and it was fun with other people, but as a solo series I just kind of fell out of it. So I think it's really cool, but there were so many Pokemon that I did not know the names to in this movie.
You needed the Pokemon rap probably to help you out.
I needed a Pokedex to keep up with this movie.
I think it was College Humor that did a Poke Rap with all the Pokemon, or some channel did, just to kind of prove how insane the idea is to do it anymore, and it was just hilarious to listen to him try.
I mean, like, how many are there now? Like 999?
Let me ask Google. Hey, Google, how many Pokemon are there? Hang on.
807 Pokemon.
Apparently there's 807 Pokemon.
Holy buckets.
All right. Glad to see I was only slightly overestimating. Jesus.
Well, to be fair, Ryan, some of them are being cut because they got to come back as DLC, so. But Aaron, how are you? What's your history with the franchise?
So, I'll admit it, I grew up a Digimon girl. I was always more of a fan of Digimon.
Monsters.
Yes.
All right.
Digimon, go monsters, Digimon are the champions. Yes. So I grew up watching that and actually playing Digimon games, but I did watch the Pokemon series. I was just really irritated that the Pokemon didn't speak except to say their names, and it drove me nuts. That's why I like Digimon more. Anyway,
Aaron.
I kind of...
Aaron.
What?
Aaron.
I will kick you. I will throw a bird at you.
Oh my God. I should know better to not drink while recording this podcast.
Would you spit at your screen this time, Ryan?
Almost. He almost got me again.
So over the years, it's been more like I've been watching shows here and there. And then Pokemon Go came out. And after a week of people playing it, I got into it. And I got sucked into it. So I started memorizing all the Pokemon and everything. And I've been playing it. It came out in what, 2015? 16? Somewhere in there?
Let's see. I met Amanda in 2016. That's the year it came out. So yeah, I think 2016.
Yeah, 2016. So I've been playing. I haven't been as dedicated to it like the last month, but that's because I got into Merge Dragons, which is a bad thing. But it didn't overwhelm me.
Do you make Cronenberg dragons?
Can I make what?
Do you make like Cronenberg dragons where they're horrible monsters that are fused together?
No, though I kind of question the designs of some of them.
Oh, I want to make more Cronin monsters.
That would be fun. But I wasn't overwhelmed by the amount of Pokemon on the screen. I think I actually recognized all of them because they didn't. I don't remember how many generations they actually showed on there, but I'm pretty sure I recognized all of them.
They did at least up to Gen 6 by my recollection. I don't remember seeing any Gen 7, but I think there might have been like one or two at most.
I think so. From Pokemon Go, I'm familiar with. I think we're at Gen 5 right now.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, we're at Gen 5, and I may be familiar with Gen 6 just because I've watched the show later gen shows. So I started watching the show after I played Pokemon Go. So I'm a bit more familiar with the Pokemon and the trainers and the characters, all that kind of stuff. But so yeah, I think I have more Pokemon history than I realized.
Just a little bit.
Just tiny bit.
I'll go. I mean, I'll go real quick. So I've never played Pokemon. I don't even know what a Pokemon is, and I honestly don't know why I'm here. I'm kidding. I played Pokemon starting in Yellow, and I played every generation since. Favorite generation's probably Gen 2 remakes from Gen 4, because it takes all the good gameplay mechanics of Gen 4 with the best games Gen 2, so it's all good stuff there. Hated Gen 5. It went off the rails with that one completely, I think, in terms of like, story. Gen 6 brought me back in, only to lose me in Gen 7. Because Gen 7 got like super handholdy and they changed a bunch of things. I'm like, I'm not interested in this. And I waited for Gen 8 to like bring you back in, and I've been disappointed ever since they talked about it. I'm like, okay, I'll wait until you give me my MMO. I'll be right here playing Pixelmon on Minecraft. It's cool. Yeah. But no, I've been playing the series off and on for the majority of my life. It's probably the series that got me into video games, and then I got stuck into video games thanks to Portal. So, thank you, Pokemon. You've done me the service of making me an anime and video game fan. Look at the monster you've created.
I will say that I did really want to get Let's Go Eevee when it came out on the Switch. Mm-hmm. But to be honest with you, I don't have a very good attention span for long games anymore, which is why I do Mario Maker instead.
And that's fair.
But I just love Eevee. It's so cute.
I've actually been told that Eevee and Pikachu, the Let's Go games, are actually really good, and they actually make up for what the newer games kind of lack, so I might give those a shot at some point. I just don't want to pay $60 for a series that I paid $40 for my whole life, so I'm like, I'll wait till there's a sale.
That's fair. I might get it when it goes on sale just so I can unload all my frickin' legendaries off of my Pokemon Go game and put it on there. I have so many legendaries, especially Articuno. Oh my god.
I had a lot of Groudons for a while. I had to get rid of some of them because I was running out of room. Anyway, what was it? They cease to really mean anything as a legendary when you have like 20 of them.
Right, and that they kept coming out. Like, I really love the fact that they only had like the birds out for 1 week at a time, because all of us were out grabbing them because we didn't realize they would come back every frickin' month. Like, if I see Lugia in the raids anymore, I'm going to scream.
I think I got Lugia. I don't remember. I might. Anyway, before we get derailed on that one, I do want to bring up a point Aaron mentioned earlier about Digimon. I actually did like Digimon as a kid growing up. I think it had the better story of the two shows, but I think Pokemon just had the better, like, I guess, marketing and design behind it, whereas Digimon, like, it's cool, it's fun, but once the story's over, it kind of loses its, like, momentum, you know what I mean?
Right. No, I agree with you there. I mean, Pokemon has the longevity of, like, the main characters going through all the seasons.
Well, yeah, because Ash is a fucking vampire.
Right. But I did like the deeper story plot lines that went on with Digimon, and also Digimon wasn't as predictable with the episodes, because with Pokemon, it's basically the same thing most of the time, where Team Rocket tries to steal something, and they're blasting off again, and this happens, and it's just kind of, and let's go fight in a gym, same old. Digimon, yeah, they had more plot developments with the characters.
Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember that Dark Masters storyline with Puppetmon and all that shit? Dude,
and Piedmon? Oh yeah.
Dude,
that was incredible.
Puppetmon was my jam. He was great.
That was amazing. I also love the fact that, like, the Digimon, they had a lot of emotions, and they could evolve and devolve. So, like, there were reasons why they were evolving, which I feel like Pokemon stole when they started doing Mega Evolutions, because they wanted to do Mega Evolutions for a character, and then they go back to their original status. I'm like, that's pretty much Digimon right there.
Yeah. And
They've tweaked it. They tweaked it, sure, but yeah, I mean, you gotta admit it was pretty close to Digimon. I still remember losing my mind in the theaters when War Greymon and Metal Garurumon digivolved to form Omnimon.
Oh my god,
I was done.
That was pretty sick. That
was amazing. Oh my god.
I've never had a Pokemon moment where I was just like losing my shit. Like, oh my god.
I still have that VHS
lose your shit
too.
when
Greymon's
Ash died?
head has a sword in it. Dog, come on.
Right?
Ryan, you didn't lose your shit when Ash died at the hands of Mewtwo and then all the Pokemon cried to bring him back to life?
Hey, I actually cried at that moment, but not because of Ash. Not because of his dumbass. I was crying because Pikachu was crying. Because Pikachu ran up to him and he's just like, get up. No, dude, get up. What's going on? And I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, no.
I started crying after Ash got back to life because I'm like, man, that means Misty's not single anymore.
Dude, you're already taken. What you talking about?
Hey, this is back when I was like a little kid, teenager.
It's like 12-year-old.
Okay,
like
fair.
I wouldn't cry about that now. Of course, how old would Misty be now if she was a person? No, I'm not going to go down this road. We're going to go back to questions. We're going to go back to questions.
We'll get off of the polyamory subject, right?
Yeah, this is getting a little weird. So we talked about this a little bit. Were you guys able to keep up with the sheer number of Pokemon that were thrown on the screen at a given time?
Absolutely. I was catching a good amount of them, but there were a lot of I was just like, who is that?
I think most of them I was able to. There were very few where I was like, I don't recognize you. What are you?
I was actually, when I first started up, I'm like, okay, here's my pen and paper. I'm going to try to write down all the ones I recognize. After 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, there's too many. I can't write that fast.
Yeah. There's so many of them.
Like, they just vomited them on screen.
At the same time, I like how they flooded the screen with so many Pokemon, but they didn't make it like a core part of the story that you know all of the Pokemon. It was just they were really good set pieces, and like this is the world that you're in, and Pokemon are like just a natural part of society at this point. So I thought they did that really well.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah, I never felt bad about not knowing the names of Pokemon. If the Pokemon was important to what was about to happen, you like they mentioned it, and it's just like, okay, I'm here. That's
right.
I think, if I go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it was more like just eye candy for all the Pokemon lovers. It was like, oh my god, there's that one and that one and that one and that one, and oh my god. But again, like you said, we didn't have to know them unless they actually gave the names.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Marvel references in the movies. Like, you don't have to know all the Marvel characters to really be into Endgame, but if you know more of the Marvel characters, you get a little bit more out of it. So
that is exactly what I was thinking. That's how good references are done. It's like it's an extra treat for people who are really familiar with the story, but it doesn't detract from the story if you don't know it.
Right. You're gonna laugh at me right now.
In short,
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say,
in short, don't motherfucker, keep doing this. I was gonna be real quick. In short, don't exposit all your references. Just let them show up, bros. Let them show up.
Yes.
I was going to say you're gonna laugh at me because I'm actually pulling up Pokemon Go so I can remember the names of a few of the types of Pokemon that I can reference. Plus, I have to give my Eevee some treats, because now we have the buddy system.
I haven't really messed with it much since they updated, but I've also got the new job, which means I can't play on the bus anymore.
No, I have a shiny Eevee with a flower crown as my buddy, so...
A sentence I never thought I'd hear anyone say on a podcast before. Okay, so next question. This was based on one of the non-mainline games in the franchise, a spin-off game, if you will. Do you feel this is to the film's benefit, or do you feel this hindered the film's overall success? Or to rephrase that last question, could this have been more successful had it been on the mainline series?
I actually think it was to the film's benefit that they steered away from that. Because think of how many people that are familiar with Pokemon or have played a Pokemon game. Everybody knows the basic concept. Two people have a little fashion show off, and then they throw down their Pokemon and they dogfight, and then one of them wins, and it's great. But instead of doing that, they're like, we're gonna expand on the world of Pokemon by showing you more than just the normal battling type shit. We had a little bit of that, a little hint of that with the Charizard fight, which was done well. And then the rest of it was an interesting detective story that got you into the story while surrounding you with familiar shit. So it was a good way, I think, to expand on the world and keep people more engaged, as opposed to just tuning out if it was just battle after battle after battle.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Ryan on that. I think it was having them do kind of a sideline story instead of the main one actually helped it cater to both the fans of Pokemon and the people who just don't know that much about it and got introduced into it, because they didn't dumb it down so much that the Pokemon lovers would get bored by it, but they caught all the specialties or the Easter eggs, or got the thrill of seeing, oh, there's this Pokemon from this generation, that generation, while the new folks coming in got the lore of this is what it used to be like, this is what it is now, and they got to be engaged in a different type of storyline. So I thought it was pretty beneficial.
Yeah, I can agree a little bit. I think it's good to start off not following the main line, because I think that allows you to at least get the brand out there, get yourself established. But I do think at some point people are going to want to see, not necessarily the Ash Ketchum story, but they want to see someone go on the adventure. They want to see someone go through the badges and all that stuff. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at some point people are going to want to see someone else's experience in that world. And I am interested to see how they would tackle that.
I am too. Like, I'm down for them to actually go and do that. I just think as a starter movie, this was a good way to test the waters.
I wish more video game franchises did that, because I think a lot of them really do try to jump into the whole, we're going to retell these events of the first game. And the problem is, who's that movie for then? The people who've already played the video game know the story to that game already. And people who haven't played the video game aren't going to care because they didn't play the game already, so they're not going to necessarily get into this all the way. If you make something that's tangentially related with side characters, or something with the main characters that wasn't the main storyline, you could come up with something far more interesting, maybe. Does this film need more Team Rocket? not necessarily Jesse and James, but just Team Rocket in general.
I was kind of waiting for somebody to be named Giovanni and for it all to link back. But to be fair, the Ditto as the villain henchman was a great twist.
Yeah.
Because when they pulled off the glasses and you had the Ditto eyes on a human face, I'm like, okay, that is terrifying.
I almost died.
It was pretty good.
I almost died. That was great. No, I was fine with not having a bunch of Team Rocket in there. I'm so used to them from the show. I think it was nice to have a break. They can go blast off again at another time.
I will say, though, I was disappointed that the virus or the fart gas had an R on the vial. I'm like, okay, you're referencing Team Rocket, right? Are they going to at least get a little bit of lip service, or are we just not going to address this?
That was just the tease. That was just the tease.
I know. It's the Mr. Sin. It's the Essex Corp of Pokemon. Hopefully, I live up to this tease. I actually do want to. Someone brought up an interesting point, and I can't remember what it was now. Shit. Well, I'll move on to the next question. If I remember it, I'll bring it back up. Oh, yeah, no, the Ditto thing. That's right, the Ditto thing. Ryan, are you familiar with the Ditto theory for Pokemon?
The Ditto theory?
Yes.
Enlighten me, please.
Aaron, you might be familiar with it, so let me know if this sounds familiar to you. So, everyone knows that Mewtwo is a clone of Mew.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Pokemon games, on Cinnabar Island specifically, where you find and catch where you find the lab where Mewtwo is created, one Pokemon in particular pops up there, and exclusively there, and Cerulean Cave, where you find Mewtwo. Dittos. Everywhere. All over the place. And one of the big fan theories is that every Ditto created every Ditto you see is a failed Mewtwo clone.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, wow.
I like that.
There are some evidence for this, too, including the fact that both the Mew and Ditto had the same shiny sprites, or same colors for both the regular and shiny sprites. They both learn Transform naturally, and they both are tied to every Pokemon's DNA in some way.
That's really interesting. I thought you were going to say, like, they were, like, Mewtwo's poop or something, but
Nope.
I like this theory a lot better.
Far. No,
I like this theory a lot better.
It's a theory I've subscribed to for years because it makes so much sense.
It really does. No, it really does. I like that. Either that or... I would say either that or they were using Dittos as the basis of trying to recreate Mew. So while Dittos are naturally occurring Pokemon, Mewtwo originally was a Ditto that was genetically engineered to be Mewtwo.
That's also a possibility. I like that one too.
I like that.
The lore behind Mewtwo's creation is one of the most discussed things in Pokemon lore. That it's one of the more fascinating things too. Like I love just hearing all the different ideas behind it. But anyway, moving on before we get too sidetracked here. What are your thoughts on the redesigns of the Pokemon and their translation to live action medium? Would this have been better as an animated movie?
I thought they were awesome. I mean, some of them looked really weird or creepy, but I thought they did a good job. I will say, I thought what they did with Torterra was amazing because it's like, you don't really realize the sheer size of that Pokemon until you see it on screen like that. Like, that was cool. They were freaking mountains, basically.
Well, I think those were artificially enlarged, too, weren't they?
I think they were artificially large, but it was still awesome.
Right.
I will say the only thing that weirded me out, and this is because it's more obvious in the movie than on the shows, is Greninja and the fact that his tongue is looped around his neck. And I'm sorry, but they had a scene where the female character got grabbed and gagged by a Greninja, and it was with his tongue, and it was really gross and slimy, and nope. Just nope. But
there's some NSFW fan art already, I am sure.
Oh, I'm not 100%. surprised.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not
Ryan, Gen 1 had Tentacruel. They've had that for years.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Anything with the tongue, I mean, think of what Lickitung would be. Oh, oh God.
The Lickitung scene.
But otherwise, I thought they did a really good job with it. Like, they seemed pretty real, and it was interesting how they, I guess, adjusted them for film. And let's just say they didn't do a Sonic, so, and really F up the character first time around.
They fixed Sonic after that first trailer. We'll see just how bad or good it turns out when it's all done.
Yeah, we can't hate on Sonic too hard just yet because they actually took it back and fixed it when people didn't like it. So they've earned my respect until we see just what they came up with at the very end.
Oh, no. I totally agree with you. Like, I love that they changed it and they fixed it and he looks so much better in the original game. You know, kudos to them for actually doing that. I'm just saying Pokemon, the artist for Pokemon did well where he didn't create an abomination the first time around.
Right, they didn't pull a
Yeah.
Cats, is what you're saying.
Okay, so I can't really speak on Cats because I actually enjoyed the movie, but we
Oh.
could do that, talk
That's
about
a
it
whole
later.
different conversation. All right.
Yes,
All right.
yes. We could do a
So
different conversation of that.
So I want to throw out a cautionary warning, Ryan. So, for Sonic, yes, we got Sonic redesigned, sure, but consider this. What if there's a post-credit scene with Tails and maybe Knuckles that we have not seen? And because we didn't see it, we didn't complain about it. Because we didn't complain about it, they look like the original versions of what they had, which might look more like original Sonic design. What if cute little fun Sonic meets these horrible abominations in the movie, and we're like, oh, they didn't change that, did they?
No.
You know what? I have faith. I have faith in them that they were able to also adjust what they've got, like what they're probably coming up with after this. I have faith. I have faith.
I
would
know.
hope that
I
they
just have
would
to make a
fix
joke.
it. I would hope that they would fix it.
I had to make a joke though. It was there. Okay.
Don't mess with Tails. Don't mess with Tails.
Were you hooked by the central mystery, or was it really weak? Why or why not?
I thought the beginning of it was a little weak. The ending twists were pretty interesting. Mewtwo being a god was kind of weird.
Yes.
Bless you, my
That's-
child.
that-
I am Mewtwo.
That's my summary. The beginning was the middle to like turning to Act 3 was actually pretty interesting, and then he started making people into Pokemon, and I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Croninmon, gotta fuse 'em all.
Fuse them all.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I think the mystery was kind of weak for the most part overall. I will agree that once you get to the twist with the old man and the Mewtwo and the sea, all of it's pretty good. For the most part, and I know I threw a joke. I don't know. Anyway, I liked the weirdness at the end. I think it really makes up for the beginning, just kind of feeling a little bit predictable, I guess. And it's a little unfair for me to say, because I had the movie spoiled for me ages ago when they're like, oh, hey, it's Tim's dad's the Pikachu. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Okay, now I need to ask this question because I need to put my girlfriend on blast. So how did you guys feel about the ending? About both the dad being inside Pikachu and the dad ending up getting revived? Oh my god, Mewtwo used
Okay, well, first off...
on Dadpool.
Well, no,
How did you
Ryan,
feel about the ending?
It was effective.
I'll say that. I didn't hate the idea of the dad being inside the Pikachu. No sexual innuendo intended. But I do think he should have either A, been trapped there, or B, not come back in one piece. You know what I mean?
Vindication. I'm sorry. Wait. Aaron, Bird Aaron, what are your thoughts?
Okay, my first thought was, how the hell did you not know that wasn't your dad's voice?
Because he hadn't seen him in 20 years.
Your voice doesn't change that
he
much.
was still old enough to know.
Fair.
Yeah!
Quite fair.
That was my first, and also I was just kind of like, oh, now we're back to the non-talking Pikachu and the dad that's been absent most of this kid's life. Yay.
I think it would have made more sense for the dad to not come back, just on the grounds that it would have forced Tim to realize how special relationship he had was, and he would then be driven to make up for it by taking up the mantle or just coming to Rhyme City and making a life there where his father was and kind of honor that a little bit.
Yes, okay. So, now to put my girlfriend on blast.
Here we go.
So, when the movie ended, I was just like, oh, okay, so the dad gets to come back. But like, so the way it was originally like stated by Mewtwo was that he was dying from the car crash, and Pikachu wanted to Mewtwo said the only way I can save him is by putting him inside of you. No sexual innuendo intended. And he made it seem that his partner sacrificed himself
Yeah.
so that the dad could be saved.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Pikachu as an entity, Pikachu the actual Pokemon is dead. Or
Oh, that's sad.
like either Pikachu the actual entity is dead, or the dad who was dying couldn't be pulled out of Pikachu, because if he was, then he would still be dying. Like, that would make sense to me. And the way I saw it, I said, I think it would have been a more interesting story if the dad had to stay in Pikachu, but because they know now what's going on, Tim could live out his dream of being like a Pokemon trainer / detective with his dad, and Pikachu as his Pokemon. I'm like, that would have been awesome. And my girlfriend called me a monster. She called me a monster because I would deprive this child of having an actual relationship with his father because it would make for a more interesting story.
But he didn't have much of a relationship with his father anyway, so...
Right, but the whole movie was him realizing that he should have given his dad a chance, and now it was too late, and he was spending all that time in regret, and I was like, and now he gets to make up for that. And I said he could have made up for it if he stayed Pikachu. And
True.
he just would have had a great relationship with Pikachu as his Pokemon partner. And they could have been detective buddies. And it would have been cool. It would have been awesome. He would have got to live out his dream. But now, Tim is Pokemon-less again.
And now he's got his Dadpool.
But now he's got his dad. And they have to figure out how to make this work. I was called a monster. Like, we argued for, like, hours about this.
I'm glad it was play argue.
It was, yeah, no, it wasn't, like, serious, but we argued for real.
I actually felt some sadness at the end because, like, it was Pikachu talking basically with his dad's voice, more or less. But it almost felt like we lost the Pikachu that we had grown to love. And I was just kind of like, I'd rather have that than the dad come back.
What if... Okay, so let's split the difference then, okay? We can't kill off the dad, but we can't get rid of cool Pikachu. So what if we do this? What if Mewtwo, instead of giving the dad life in a body somewhere, brings him back somehow? What if he then transfers his dad's intelligence to some other person? Like the rich guy, or the Jigglypuff, or something else. Just so that way it's like, hey, listen, here you go. You get your dad back, and you get the Pikachu. You win.
Or how about, like, you can give the dad his voice back, but how about just give a frickin' voice to Pikachu so he can still talk?
Well, no, he's got to go through years of training, and he's got to give up his most powerful attacks, and he's got to do it for the love of another Pikachu. Oh, wait, no, that's...
that's fine and everything. That's fine and everything, but I still want this Pikachu to still talk.
And if he does talk again, I want it to sound like Danny DeVito.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Tim, we gotta go. We gotta go get some broads.
No.
No, Allegra started showing me It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I can't.
Yes. Yes.
I can't.
Always Sunny is so good. Always Sunny is so good.
I've never seen it. It's fine with this.
Ridiculous.
The first season's a bit rough. Once they add in Frank, though, it is just gravy everywhere. It's so good. Anyway, we got a little sidetrack there. Let's see, what did I leave off? Why do you think there was a deliberate decision or choice to keep Rhyme City free of traditional elements of Pokemon, like the Pokeballs, battles, etc.?
I think I remember if you mentioned this earlier that they wanted to like look at a different aspect of the Pokemon world. So I think that's very interesting. Like, what would it be like if there wasn't gym battles and fights and all this kind of stuff? It helped the humans and the Pokemon live more harmoniously together, I feel like. So, I mean, that's probably one reason why they did it. But in essence, if you think about Pokemon and the Pokemon battles and everything, it's kind of barbaric. You're basically keeping this Pokemon in a ball and then bringing them out so they can get the crap beat out of them, or they beat up somebody else until they pass out, and then you put them back in the ball until you revive them, or they revive, whatever. And it goes on, rinse, repeat, and it's like, this poor Pokemon.
That brings up a question I have in mind. Why isn't Michael Vick a Pokemon champion yet?
Oh my god! Homie!
I might throw my mic.
Homie!
I've been sitting on that one for a good minute.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Anyway. No, I think you're on some. I think it really is just trying to divorce itself from the more traditional scenes of Pokemon, because if you see battles of the traditional sense, if you see capturing of this traditional sense, if you see anything that you could draw a line to in the games or the shows, you're more likely to make those comparisons, and that is something that other video game movies fall at. You look at the first Resident Evil movie. It's supposed to be kind of like a reference to the first Resident Evil game, so you draw a lot of lines of comparison to it, and you can kind of see that, oh, it falls short in a lot of these areas, it's not as good. Same for World of Warcraft, same for Prince of Persia, same for fucking Assassin's Creed.
Oh god, Prince of Persia. Jesus.
And it's not that these movies are necessarily bad. I mean, yes, some of them are bad, but it doesn't help when you can make those comparisons so cleanly. Whereas here, you can't really, because they've made decisions to separate themselves from so much of their main series. It's hard to make that comparison.
Right.
Yeah. By separating themselves a little bit from the material that most people know, they give themselves a fresh start. I mean, they bypass the sequel problem, because when an original IP comes out, you have nothing to compare it to, and it's just good on its own. But the sequel, now it has to be as good or better than the first one, and you're already shooting yourself in the foot by making a movie of material that's already out there. So it's a clever way to kind of circumvent that problem, and I think they pulled it off well.
Tim, we gotta go find your dad. Let me get my gun.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man.
Let's see. Do you want to see more Pokemon films in the future? Like, live-action Pokemon films in the future? And if so, what would you want to see?
I could definitely see more Pokemon films in the future. I would want to see more kind of... I would want to see more movies like Detective Pikachu, where it's not centered around like the normal stuff that we see, but it has elements of the stuff that we see. So it makes you familiar with the material, but it doesn't just retread the old ground. It gives you something new while also making it familiar to you at the same time.
I'd have to second Ryan on that. Like, I would like to see more, but I want to see movies that show either more of the lore or show like the first thing that pops into my mind is like the story behind Lucario and Sir Aaron, because that stuff made me want to cry. But I want it to be more like less of the battling types. So like the TV show, less of the TV show, and more like an in-depth view of the world and the characters, the humans working with the Pokemon, not as like, go get them, go fight, oh, you're dead, oops. But as like, you are actually my partner, and they build a bond and a relationship and everything together. Yeah. I would love to see them go on a quest of some sort. Again, to search out like a special type of Pokemon.
I'll weigh in.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, just a quick heads up. Allegra says that I am in league with monsters.
Oh, you told her what we thought.
You're all monsters in my girlfriend's book, apparently.
That's
okay, but I want to be a Dracula.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking about pocket monsters, so it's.
Oh, right. Well, then I'll be a Roserade. It's cool.
I'll be a Haunch Crow.
Nice.
No, so I'll weigh in. I think you guys are more or less right. I think eventually they're going to have to do a mainline style kind of movie, but until then, I want to see more of these side stories, and specifically, I want to see a smaller scale story. I want to see like a small like day in the life of someone else in the world, because I think the stakes of this movie escalated a little too quick from solving the mystery of what happened to your dad to, oh my god, the world's going to end with all these fused Pokemon things.
Yeah, I see that.
So something a little more small scale, something more like just like a relationship problem or maybe a small town problem. Build up to something like this again. But definitely flesh out the world, flesh out what it's like to just live here. Because I think the one thing that has always made Pokemon more interesting to me, aside from just learning how to really get good at the battle mechanics, is just getting to explore the world. The quiet moments between the gyms where you're just kind of like lost in the mountains or digging around through a jungle. Just these small things that you take for granted until you've actually gotten through the game. Like, you know what? I had a good adventure. I had a good story there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree with you. I would like that too.
Building off of that, I think like one of the best parts of the movie was when he was asking the Bulbasaurs to help him save Pikachu, and they were kind of taking him to like this hidden world of Pokemon. For a brief moment, I was just like, oh shit, wait, what ridiculous lore are we going to get dropped on us now? I was only a little disappointed when it actually turned out to be Mewtwo, but it still felt really, really cool that like they wouldn't let the other human come with them, and they took him like into the mountains, and all of these other Pokemon, these mystical Pokemon, these ghost types started showing up and leading the way. I was just like, oh, this is actually really, really cool. So more of that, I think, would be a hit.
Mm-hmm.
I want a movie with Lucario.
Final question for the night, and it kind of just a fun one. Do you guys have a least favorite or favorite Pokemon, and why is it your favorite or least favorite?
From the movie or in general?
Let's go in general. Whatever you got.
Let me look at my Pokedex.
Well, I have mine memorized because I'm the best, like no one ever was. And
Yep.
like I said earlier, I'd probably go Roserade. I just like the tuxedo mask style design to it, and I don't know, it's just got a nice, good, balanced moveset. It's not the strongest by any means, but it's just cool looking, with Hawlucha being a very close second. Also, Tyron's very cute.
I think my oh no, I got it. I think my favorite is it's got to be Ninetales. I've always loved Ninetales, and like the Kitsune is really cool. Plus, just from the show, the story of Ninetales like was so sad but so good. So I would say Ninetales is my favorite, and the one that is okay, I actually have two that I really do not like. Like one, Mr. Mime, because he just freaks the shit out of me.
Do you not like clowns?
He's No, I don't like clowns.
There you go.
I had a clown yell at me once. I don't like clowns.
Oh no.
Him and Jinx. Jinx just creeps me out. Especially the original drawing of Jinx when it looked like it had blackface.
Yeah, Jinx is kind of problematic.
Jinx is really freaking, yeah. Jinx and Mr. Mime. I'll go with those two. I do not like those two. I will say, from the movie, one of my favorites is actually going to be Psyduck, because the whole time he's running across the screen holding his head and they're trying to get a migraine built up, I'm just like, I feel you, buddy. I know how that feels.
God, that's fantastic.
Poor Psyduck.
All right, so for my favorite, I'm gonna say my favorite from a battle perspective was Garchomp, because
he's pretty
he
good.
was just boss.
Pretty good.
Like, I had to
Yeah.
have him on I had to have him on all my end game teams. It's just like, this is the guy. He goes into the ground. He fucking jaws you in like in the midst of concrete. You're done. You can't top that. And I think just from a general perspective, I'm gonna say Haunter, because just like the design of Haunter with the floating body and the two ghostly hands, the guy just looked cool to me. He just looked boss to me. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say Haunter.
What about least favorite?
Yeah, let's go around. What do you got for least favorite, if you have any?
I mean, I think I blocked Jinx out of my memory, so that was real good. That's a very strong contender for least favorite. I'm gonna go with that one because I can't think of any other Pokemon that makes me actively angry.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I guess my least favorite would probably be Dunsparce. I've just never understood the hype for that character. It's just always like, okay, it's a little wormy dude. It never evolves, never does anything. It's just there. I never got the hype.
I have a replacement for my for my least favorite Pokemon. What's the fucking giraffe Pokemon?
Girafarig.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That'll be mine. I was just like, what?
I like the original
Why
intention
you
behind it,
hating on
but
the
yeah,
giraffe?
I don't know. It never sat right with me. It just felt kind of dumb and odd.
But he's so cute.
Well, there you have it, folks. If you want to tell us why we're wrong on our favorite Pokemon, you can leave comments down below. You can also reach out to us on Tumblr, Twitter, or Facebook. We also have a monthly exclusive Patreon-only podcast. It's the Cast, where you can come and listen to us talk about upcoming projects. You can listen to us talk about going over what we've done, what we liked, what we didn't like. You can also have us respond to your comments and questions and whatnot. We'd love to hear from you guys. And if you want to reach out to us directly, we still have an old email we're kicking around. Ryan, what is that old email?
That old email is, it's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That's evacstation@gmail.com.
If you guys join the Patreon and we reach $200 Patreon a month, Ryan will just do a recording of the entire song.
I will.
Yes.
I will.
Yes.
I will
do
commit
it.
to this.
We'll have earned that money, come hell or high water.
Do it.
Let's get to our final segment, which is reviewing the film. Aaron, in case you forgot, it's been a while. We ranked the films from the ranks of platinum, gold, silver, bronze, stone, dirt, and shit. All those different colors and everything, to determine what we like about the film. Ryan, why don't you show us how it's done? What would you rank this movie?
Alright, so I think that for all of the ways that this movie kind of plays it a little safe with the majority of the plot, I think the twist that they use is very interesting. I think the animation of the Pokemon, while super challenging to make look good, they definitely succeeded in doing that. And like Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's probably the first If only really good video game movie we're going to be doing this season. So I'm going to go ahead and actually give this one a silver because I really enjoyed it, and I think they set a high bar for themselves, and they managed to succeed for the most part.
That's fair. Aaron, what do you think?
You know, I'm going to agree with Ryan, and I loved how they portrayed the Pokemon. The design was really good. The storyline, for the most part, was interesting. They had some weird twists and turns there that were just kind of like, okay, Mewtwo is God now. That's okay. Cool. And for a start out movie, I thought they did a respectable job with it. Catering both to the fans of Pokemon and to, the newer audience. It was a fun little movie. Was it great? No, I wouldn't say it was great or anything, but it was fun. So I guess I'm kind of in between bronze and silver.
I'll wrap things up. I'm gonna be the negative Nancy here, not by a lot. I think the animations and the design work are top notch. I think that to translate something as abstract as this into live action is a big challenge, and they put a lot of money and effort into that one, and it really shows. Unlike, say, Super Mario Bros., it translates well. But for all the effort they make on the visual side of things, we've said it already, the story is a lackluster. The acting is okay. Nothing spectacular, but it's okay. And I don't know. If I wasn't a big fan of Pokemon, I could see myself not being super invested in this. So for me, I'm going to probably give it a bronze. I think it's a good starting place. I think it's going to get better the more they do this, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with you.
So that's it for Pokemon Detective Pikachu, everybody. Tune in next week when I believe we'll be airing our Ace Attorney movie.
Oh, yay, that was so much fun.
That was pretty good. And then after that, guys, you will be treated to the newest, the fastest thing alive, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, boy.
And, on top of that, too, tune in next month, in March, when we will be discussing, for our Patreon-exclusive episode, Sonic the 1996, or 99 if you're in America, animated movie.
Oh, I think I need to watch that still.
We do this for you.
We do it for you.
For you, guys.
If you haven't seen this month's Patreon episode, it is still, let's see, last month was Vampire Hunter, so you guys may have already seen it, but don't forget to check out Ninja Scroll. That's what it was, Ninja Scroll.
Yes!
That was pretty fun. So thank you, and we'll see you after the credits.
Bye!
Bye, everybody!